All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Stoking the Coals. It is your boy Knuckles here. I am here with Squared, and we're going to be talking about UFC Mexico, UFC Mexico City, and that event. It was a pretty, actually, it was a nice event. It was pretty damn good compared to what we got in London. This was a much needed kind of a breath of fresh air. I feel like just a lot of, I don't know, overall good fights, good finishes, vibe, and obviously started a little bit earlier in the day for most everybody and finished a little earlier. And I think that helped a lot. UFC do that more often because it makes a better vibe. But yeah, we're going to be here talking about that, kind of talking about the aftermath and maybe some, yeah, just some stuff going on with this card and what we think is next for some of the guys. And yeah, Squared, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I just like you enjoyed the card very much. Definitely felt like a breath of fresh air coming off that London one. Uh, all around solid. Can't wait to talk about it. Don't forget to follow us on X or Twitter, whatever you choose to call it, at bench_burner. Everywhere else, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, all the places at bench burner sports. If you're watching this on a platform that has a comment section, go ahead and let us know how you felt about this card. Let us know any matchups you'd like to see based off of that card, like what's next for whatever fighter. We'd love to see it. And that's all I got.
All right. All right. So event here starting out. Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. Moreno walked away the 49-46 decision across the board. It was a good fight. Personally, I had it 49 or 48-47 Moreno. I thought that Erceg took the second and third rounds, but I'm not saying that you're wrong if you scored a 49-46 for Moreno. Overall, I mean, every round was kind of a little bit close, but I think round three was definitely Erceg and round four was definitely Moreno. Those were the two clearest rounds of the whole fight, really for me. And I think Moreno kind of secured it in the fifth with the takedown. Otherwise, that round was fairly close too. And honestly, had Erceg taken that round, I would have gave it to him probably 48-47. But damn good fight. I mean, it proved to me that Erceg definitely belongs in the conversation of the best flyweights in the division. Unfortunately, though, that is three fights lost in a row for Erceg. Moreno's bounced back with, I think, two consecutive wins. And this is his first win in Mexico inside the UFC, so that's big for Moreno as well. I mean, overall, just really impressive performance. Or actually, let me skate that back. It was a good performance. I'm not going to necessarily say I was super impressed because not gonna lie, he kind of looked like he did against Royval, was just winging a lot of shots. He forgot how to jab a lot. I mean, he was smart with what he did. I don't know. I just for me, and again, maybe I'm being overly critical. I'm not trying to be, but I just feel like that performance was good, but it left a lot to be desired, especially considering that Erceg didn't move his head off the center line. So that I felt like the Moreno jab. Again, it felt like the Royval fight where he forgot to how to jab for a little bit. And Erceg capitalized on that in the second, third rounds, and a little bit in the fifth. And yeah, I don't know. Really, I mean, it was a nice fight. Like it was really fun to watch, especially considering the fact it wasn't super late at night. I felt good watching it, enjoyed the whole fight. Yeah, I don't. It was a very, very solid fight night main event. For Moreno, I think that I liked his post fight speech. It was very lively, very good. I just don't know what you do from here. Um, I think, I mean, there's been rumors circulating that KKF is going to be next in line for Pantoja. Moreno, if he fights him, this would be his fourth time. So I feel like for your fourth time and you're coming off of back-to-back losses, you probably need one more win. And for me, I think that honestly, do Cop and Moreno next for me in Guadalajara. Put that on the main card in Guadalajara. I think that makes sense. And then the winner of that fight fights Pantoja because personally, I think Pantoja fights KKF, and then I think he probably tries his hand for the bantamweight title. I think that's personally what happens for. So this kind of lines up perfectly for the timeline for both of them. You could even throw Moreno in there with or not Erceg, but Royval. And anyway, I've been going on for a long time. As for Erceg, sad to see that he lost, but obviously he's still up there with the best of them. Give Erceg like I don't know, um, I don't know, Alex Perez, something like that. You know, give him a little step back because he's lost three in a row. Give him, I mean, even hell, dip down to the bottom of the top 15 or maybe right outside of it. Give him Cody Durden or something. Let him get freshened back up and then get back up in there with the top dogs. But anyway, excited to see what's next for both guys because they're really good. What do you think of that sport?
Dude, I really enjoyed that fight. It was competitive. I do agree with what you said. I don't think it was the best we'd seen of Moreno. I know what you're what you're talking about there. Um, it was maybe just a small step back from the Albazi fight. Nothing that like concerned me too much. Uh, yeah, that's really all I got to say on Moreno's side. Obviously looked good, won the fight. Um, that dude's a killer. He just always kind of is going to be near that title picture. He's kind of had an unfortunate run of luck, as we know. He's technically 0-2 against the champion, but 0-3 counting tough. So he's going to have to really work at it to get back there. I do like that cop fight at Guadalajara. That would be a really good one. Makes a lot of sense. For Erceg, uh, man, I feel bad for him because he really he outperformed himself on that night versus Pantoja, where he put himself in a position that, like, obviously he got that title shot. A lot of people thought this dude's not ready for it. Showed that he was ready for it, but lost. And then now he's just like up at the top where maybe he's not so much ready to be. And he's just kind of gone through a killer's row now. And I wouldn't mind seeing them taking a good, healthy step back. Obviously, he's proven he can hang with the best, but take a good, healthy step back, um, fight. Maybe Asakura would be a fun one. What's his ranking right now? Because I know it's not like he, you know, was thrown into the top five after just losing the title shot, but
I would say like 12 if I had to guess, but
yeah, something like that. I feel like
just
that's a good spot for him.
let's see.
Wouldn't be an easy it wouldn't be an easy fight for him.
5'8".
It wouldn't be an easy fight.
Actually, Asakura is number 15, so
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
It wouldn't be an easy fight, but yeah, I don't think he needs easy fights right now. Is kind of what I'm getting at.
right.
But kind of more moderate than all right. Let's throw you at all these former champion
Mm,
Kai, who has a very legitimate chance of being the next champion. That killer's row definitely needs to take a healthy step back from that. He's got a couple things he needs to piece together before he can kind of work his way back into that picture. So I think someone like Kai or somebody else around maybe number 10, kind of somewhere
right,
in that range would be good for him next.
right, right. Yeah, I think that's yeah. I like everything that you said. And I mean that somehow, some way, Perez is ranked over 6, 7, and Erceg is 8. So like, crazy
What
thing is, I feel like, huh?
you cut out a little bit. What's Perez?
Oh, Perez is a center seg is 8. I mean, it wouldn't be a step back fight for you still in the head. It's just weird that
Yeah.
Perez is 7. Um, but yeah. So anyway, good ass fight. Really excited to see what's next for both those guys. Next up, we had a sanctioned murder on screen happen. Pretty much. Manuel Torres just. I didn't think it was that bad, and then I rewatched it after you guys said some stuff, and I was like, "That's pretty bad. That was pretty bad." Because like I thought he was securing a single or trying to shoot for, like trying to secure it. No, it was just like literally hugging the guy's ankle, because he was unconscious. Yeah, Manuel Torres knocked out Drew Dober. I think that Dober's legendary chin is probably gone at this point, unfortunately. Manuel hits like a ton of bricks anyway. I mean, he's got 14 or 15 finishes now out of like his 14 or out of his 15 or 16 fights. So, um, dude's just a monster. Uh, let's see. Yeah, he finished him with ground strikes. Mike Beltran. Honestly, it felt like if you remember that scene from Star Wars, I think it was like the Last Jedi or whatever. Whenever Kylo Ren's yelling more, more.
Yeah.
That's what it felt. That's what it felt like. It felt like Mike Beltran was like I need to see, I need to see more. Because yeah, I don't know what he was doing in that situation, but good lord, Emmanuel Torres killed the dude. Um, and yeah, I think that I don't know, man. I don't have much to say outside of like Manuel looked really good. I mean, overall, Drew looked old in my opinion, but Manuel looked quick, good, and I think he honestly, I can't argue with the fact that I think he might be top 15 ready. Give him somebody on the low end of the top 15, maybe right outside the top 15. And as for Dober, give him something easy. Give him a layup because that dude, he's been there for the company time and time again. Give the dude a layup and give him some time off for real. So, um, yeah, that's what I think of the fight. What do you got to say about that?
Dude, I really have next to nothing to say about that fight because they didn't give us a whole lot to say. Other than
Right.
Beltran, dude, what were you doing? Dude was twiddling his fingers while a man was getting his head turned to mush. That was kind of wild to see. As far as what's next, Torres definitely a good step up. That dude's shown that he's dangerous, so it's time to move him up. Like you're saying, maybe something in the top 15 for Dober. Time, definitely give him some time and give him a black guy. Yeah, let's get him back in the win column.
Yeah, right.
uh, no, but yeah. I mean, that he's had a pretty unfortunate run of things now. So yeah, just take a big step back for him.
For real, yeah, I feel that. Feel that. Well, next up was supposed to be Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Piper, but Joe Piper's tummy hurt, so he couldn't make it to the fight. Realistically, everybody knows I'm not the biggest fan of Philadelphia and the people from there. If you guys are a fan watching this from Philadelphia, I apologize. More so, it seems like the fighters and other individuals that are from there, namely especially Joe Piper, also fuck Bill Algeo, but it's always I hate Bill Algeo. So, but anyway, Joe Piper, man, he needs some PR lessons because good lord, the shit he said after that fight or after the canceled fight, and basically like low key admitted it was altitude. I mean, in a way, he admitted it was altitude. Uh, yeah. If you're, I don't have much. I mean, obviously, we can't talk much about that because it was a canceled fight. But just Joe Piper, man, do better. Like maybe don't be Joe Piper for once. You know, Dana says be Joe Piper. Don't be Joe Piper for once. Do something different. But anyway, I hope I kind of like maybe throw that on the Kansas City card next month. Run that back. I'd be down for it. Because I mean, I'm hopefully going to be there. So, but uh, yeah, that was that. But anyway, Edgar Chairez and CJ Vergara took that slot on the card. Edgar Chairez had I mean, scintillating performance, really good, looked really good. He always, I feel like in every fight, he is a dog in every single fight. Um, very good fighter. He just has the unfortunate task of running into some of the better fighters in the division. I mean, fighting Tatsuro Taira and Josh Van, like that's not easy for anybody. So I'm glad that he got this kind of layup here with CJ Vergara. I've always thought CJ was. I'm surprised he kind of still has a job with the UFC because he's not very good. But he's good for these situations where you are trying to kind of set up the hometown fighter to look good. And good boy or good lord, Chairez looked great, and obviously gave a very heartfelt speech after the fight. And yeah, man, Edgar Chairez just damn good. I said give him somebody like Cody Durden or um, you know Charles Johnson, something like that. That would be a fun fight. Charles Johnson would actually be a great matchup, I feel like. So yeah, dude. Super excited to see what happens next for Edgar Chairez because I think he's going to be right outside the top 15 for most of his UFC career. I don't know if he'll ever crack the top 10, but he'll be in that 10 to 15 range for sure. CJ Vergara, I think the dude just signed his walking papers right there, probably. If not, maybe one more, and he's probably out of the UFC. But still, he's good for um, two things: running away and making other fighters look good. So anyway, that's what my thoughts are on that fight. What do you have to say about that, man?
Yeah, I mean, dude, Chairez looked sharp. That was impressive. Uh, all respect to Vergara. That just wasn't his fight. I'm trying to remember what fight it was that Vergara had a couple years ago that I had it as like my comeback of the year. So that's why I never count Vergara out because of that performance.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, someone was whooping his ass in the first round and he just completely flipped it on its head. But all that to say
Is
is
that the fight he ran in, like fucking sprinted away? I
yeah,
think
yeah,
so.
it was spring. Yeah, yeah. All that to say, I never count the guy out, but on this one, it was like, yeah, that just wasn't gonna happen.
Right.
Um, as far as what's next for Chirez, I think part of me wants to, and I feel like I kind of do this with all the fights, is like, what's good for this guy next? Um, I kind of want to see him versus like a Josh Van, maybe, which is a better fight for Josh Van.
Well, Chirez fought Josh Van already.
He did. Holy shit! When did that happen?
No, no, Che. Remember they had like one of the better fights that, or one of the better rounds that year. Because remember, Chirez hurt Van like early, and then Van
Well, how
rallied
old is
back and
he?
just yeah,
I
yeah.
thought Chavez won his fight at Noche.
No, no, he lost to Josh Van. I mean, barely. He did a damn good job of keeping in there, but no, yeah, yeah. Chirez
No,
fought. Yep, yeah, because he fought.
no, holy shit.
Yeah, let me see. He
Wow.
fought Tots. Yeah,
How did I just not remember that at all? Anyways, all right. Just
it was a damn good fight too. It was a really good fight.
made a fool of myself there. Man, I like totally I don't remember that for some reason. That's so strange. I still can't picture it right now.
Well,
I
it was
remember
like
him fighting
it was
in
buried on
Noche.
the prelims.
Yeah, I
It,
remember him fighting in Noche, but I just don't remember it being Josh Van, and I could have sworn he won his fight at Noche. That's weird. All right, well, I guess I've gotten nothing for Chira. Chira's retire now. I'm sorry, I don't have anything for
yeah,
you.
you're done. You're done. You're done.
My thought just went straight out the window. So,
I fucked him up.
on to the next fight, I guess. I'm not going to pull something out of my ass. We'll just go to the next one.
um, next up was Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. I don't know why I wanted to say Daniel Marcos really bad. Vince Morales. Uh, Raul Rosas Jr. once again, and as he does lately, just kind of makes a fight closer than maybe it should have been. Vince Morales, obviously, though, has a lot of veteran savvy in him. He's fought a lot of fights against decent level competition. I know his UFC record is not the best, but still, he's fought a lot of tough guys. And I feel like that lends to you fighting a 20-year-old fighter. And Raul Rosas Jr. looked very much 20 years old in that fight, just um, like he does on a lot of his fights. I seem like he kind of blew his load early, man. You know, in a black for lack of better terms, it seems like he just he spends a lot of energy early and then it fails him later in the fight, and I feel like that's going to catch up to him. Obviously, it caught up to him in that fight because they were at altitude. Um, so I don't know. He's got to learn a lot. I feel like he's got to work on how just his fight IQ. He's young. He's got a lot of time to do that. I did think he won. I saw some people saying that they thought Morales might have snuck away with 29-28. I don't agree with that. I don't know what I gotta have to watch that fight back, but yeah, I mean Raul, I think honestly, 20 years old, you still slow roll him. You give him somebody fairly easy next. I think I said, let me do that. I sent in I had picks. Let me see here. I think I might have said Cody Gibson. Maybe not Cody Gibson. Let me see here. I said Garrett Armfield. Perfect. Because that gives you another decent level grappler, tests your, I mean, just kind of tests you in all facets of the game because Garrett's a pretty decent grappler, has good striking, and I think on his On a good day, Garrett Armfield beats him, and I think on a good day for Raul, it beats him. I think they're like almost dead even where they're at in their careers. So yeah, Raul Rosas versus Garrett Armfield. I think that would be a good fight. And unfortunately, like kind of like for Morales here compared to Vergara, I think Morales is probably going to get his walking papers. I think that's 3 losses in a row. He showed a lot of grit and determination in that fight, but I think it's time for Morales probably to get stepping. Unfortunately, I think this might be his second UFC run. I can't remember, but best wishes for him, or maybe they'll give him D squared. What you got to say about that fight, man?
Yeah, it's kind of what I expected. It's kind of just kind of become the fight formula for Raul is just out grappling people for the most part. I mean, he got caught up in some some sticky situations, got tested, but he did what he was always going to do, which was come out with a decision win via better grappling. Um, it's the tricky thing with Raul is with him being so young, you can't put too much weight into these fights as far as like how it's going to look down the road. You know, like obviously,
Right.
dude's young as hell, and he's got a lot of time to improve, and he's also got a lot of room to improve. So he can absolutely fill those gaps and become a better fighter. To where obviously seeing him get tested in fights like these uh, doesn't give you a lot of hope, but then dude's got time. So definitely slow roll him. Uh, I don't know who's next. Somebody that I did like the Armfield one because I do like someone that's gonna continue to test his grappling, um, things like that. That's kind of what you want to see where he's at in his career is build up fights that way. Don't just consistently feed this guy strikers that he's gonna just maul. Give him someone that's gonna like put him to the test, make or break type of stuff. So yeah, I like that. I like that Garrett call out. But anyone along those lines, that same kind of style as Garrett would be a good matchup for him.
Right on, right on. So yeah, and speaking of a good level prospect, in that same division, we had David Martinez just absolutely decimate Simon Oliveira. This dude is, I think he's the real fucking deal, man. I mean, I know that Raul Rosas Jr. is a really raw, green, good prospect, but talking about David Martinez, Dr. Dave, man, he is, that guy's going to be a fucking problem. I think he's going to be a problem for at worst the top like 20 dudes. You know, like he's good. I know that he was good outside the UFC. I've heard a lot of people talking about him outside the UFC before he even joined. Didn't realize just quite how good he just went in there and just killed the dude. So shout out Dr. Dave. For him next, honestly, kind of probably honestly, you could probably give him someone a little bit above what you would give Raul. So like I'm not going to say someone like Jaime Barcelos that might be a little high, but again, I got to see more about out of David Martinez. So I personally said like Cody Gibson or Damon Blackshear that level. So kind of third top 35, 40 bantamweight. Just give him a couple dudes to knock out, look really good, build up his resume, and honestly put that dude on the Guadalajara card because that's guaranteed to give excitement to that card. And yeah, and Simon Oliveira, another guy. I think a lot of dudes on this card are going to get their walking papers, or they're going to get a fight that's going to give them their walking papers. And Simon Oliveira is 0-3 in the UFC since winning on the Contender Series like 3 years ago. Hasn't been very consistent with fighting, and I would say that that's probably sayonara for him. I don't know what he's got going on, but best wishes to him. And yeah, that's what I got to say about that fight. Dr. Dave, man, I'm a fan. Squirt, what do you got to say about that, man?
Dude, great performance. Absolutely put it on that dude. The way that Oliveira fell, the way he hit the ground after that last one, I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
dude, lawn chair, like literally, like probably blew his knees out on the way down. Um, that was super impressive. A fight like that, you definitely want to see them kind of make some progress in their next fight. I'd say give him maybe like a Cameron Simon. If I was Cameron Simon, I probably wouldn't accept that fight. But that's a good, healthy step up. I think Simon's on like a 2-loss streak now.
Yeah, and he's
Definitely needs
fighting in
to.
Kansas City. He's fighting in Kansas City
Oh, that's right.
again.
Who's he fighting again?
Let me pull that up. I had that up. Why is that not on my? I had it pulled up. Because I was just looking at that card. For obvious reasons. Let's see. Kansas City. They still have Hill versus Roundtree as the main event, even though that's rumored to be pulled. But let's
Yeah.
see. He is or maybe he's not fighting in Kansas City, is he? Oh no, he's the opener for Kansas City. He's fighting Malcolm Wellmaker. Woo, woo. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Yeah, he's probably gonna lose that. I don't know. He's pretty good though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Simon's got potential to. He just, man, he had a tough 2 fights. But well, I
Yeah,
guess that kind of throws a wrench in it. But if he wins, then I
yeah,
don't
that's a fight you
know.
can make. That's the thing is Simon's fighting in a month. You could still make the fight. I mean,
Could
even
still
if
make.
Simon,
I mean, if he loses, that might change it a little bit. If he wins, that might change it a little bit. I don't know. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But that'd be one matchup I'd have my eye on for sure.
right? I'd say looking at Simon real quick. I mean, dude, fighting C Rod and Peyton Talbot back to back.
Yeah,
that's not easy. That's
yeah.
that's not easy. And
Especially
then
when you're an undefeated young fighter fighting C Rod, that's a tough matchup.
right, little baby children, little
Yeah,
tiny. We'll talk speaking of that, we'll talk about that. I mean briefly we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But yeah, so
yeah.
that all
That's
you
all.
have to say about that one? All right, okay. Uh so congrats, Dr. Dave. Next we had Lazy Boy, Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. Man, Borjas showed some fucking grit in that fight, and obviously Lazy Boy. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm a big fan of Lazy Boy, but he's overrated. Unfortunately, he's a good fighter. I think he's like bottom top 15, maybe like top 25 at best. Um, he just has a lot of holes. He's kind of slow, if I'm going to be honest. And I think that was very obvious against Kevin Borjas, who, again, Borjas came in the UFC, had two insanely difficult fights back to back. Let me pull those up. I believe it was one was against Josh Van. I do not remember who the other one was. I'm trying to get to his page really quickly. Borjas fought. Let's see here. Borjas fought Josh Van and Alessandro Costa. Yeah, that's not easy for fucking anybody. So yeah, Borjas, dude, looking really good. Another dude who just is fun. Very, very tough. Very good striker. Didn't realize dude had hands like that. I knew that's what his primary focus in the cage is striking, but damn, his 1-2 was just lightning all night against Lazy Boy. So for Borjas, man, I think you give him honestly, Ronaldo Rodriguez was right outside the top 15 there. You could realistically put Borjas. I think I had Borjas in my picks. Charles Johnson. Yeah, that's who I had when I was making picks. Um, so yeah, I mean, Borjas versus Charles Johnson would be a super good fight. Really good striking there. Or fuck, I mean, honestly, dude, I wouldn't be mad at seeing Chirez and Borjas fight. Uh, Let Chirez get a little bit of that Mexican pride back for Lazy Boy. As for Lazy Boy, honestly, dude, just put him in a fight where he can grapple a dude, or I don't know, just put him in a fun fight. Anything, but put him in Guadalajara because he's gonna get he. For some reason, he is huge in Mexico. I mean, for obvious reasons, he's just fun as fuck. He's a fun personality. So yeah, Borjas versus Charles Johnson, maybe Lazy Boy versus he already fought and beat Ode, so somebody in that range, top 20ish. What do you got to say about that fight, Squared?
Yeah. I was pretty surprised by what's his name? Sorry, I'm looking at so many names right now that I just had a brain
No,
fart.
you're good. You're
Uh,
good. Borjas.
Borjas, yeah, was surprised, pleasantly surprised by him. I kind of had the feeling that Lazy Boy was kind of getting set up for a W here. At least that was
Plan.
yeah, exactly. And dude, he brought it to him. I mean, dropped him pretty much right out the gate. Might have even, if I'm recalling correctly, dropped him once or twice more after that. Um, just looked solid. Lazy Boy showed a lot of grit. He had that dog in him, but he just didn't have the capabilities to win that fight. At least not that night. So as far as what's next for Borjas, I was kind of looking at the names here. One of the ones you said, I definitely liked the idea of. What was the? Oh yeah, Charles Johnson is a
Yeah, I
good
think
one.
that striking shit would be fun in that one.
You could give him oh shit, where'd it go? I saw another one. And I was like, you know that might not be a bad idea. I don't know.
So there's a man. I mean, there's a dude.
You gotta,
Lightweight's
you,
looking pretty decent right now.
yeah, you got a handful of options.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Hell, I wouldn't even hate like him versus Tim. I mean, Timarov probably deserves a step up, but shit, him versus Timarov would be fun
yeah, yeah.
because I think he's quicker than Timarov. Timarov swings like a motherfucker, dude. I think Borjas. Am I crazy to say that Borjas could beat Timarov because Timarov kind of just maybe not. I think Timarov probably win, but yeah, because Borjas got knocked out by Costa, and I think that yeah. I'm sitting here trying to think who did trying to think of some fighters. I think I saw somebody set or match up Borjas versus like Ray Saruya, and I was like, dog, you just want you just want Borjas to get fucking drowned. Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm not the biggest fan of Ray for. I think I've said it in the past. I just don't like the kid that much. He's a good fighter, and I can't deny it. He's probably going to be top 10 to 15 talent for sure in the future. But I just can't fucking stand him. And I think that honestly, I think he probably, unless Borjas has very, very, very good takedown defense, I think that Borjas just gets drowned against Ray. So,
I wouldn't mind
but
him versus maybe like I mean, I know he's got a fight coming up versus what's his name, who we were just talking about, but like a Bruno Silva. Uh,
oh yeah.
matchup. Yeah, something like that. I think that was the one that I saw earlier. Sorry
That'd
about
be
that. I
good.
didn't mean to just completely go to it. I think when they
No,
dropped,
you're good. No, you're good.
I think
I was
when
keeping.
you
I was
drew that
keeping the.
blood from me earlier, it kind of took a little brain power with it because I've been
It's
not
all
on my
good, dude. I can. If you ever pause, I can always keep the air filled, so don't
I
worry about it, man.
appreciate it.
I can talk like a motherfucker. That's one thing I can do is talk. So, but yeah, man. You have anything else to say on that one, or
Not really. Not really.
okay, cool. Well, we're just run through these prelims a little bit real quick, and then probably talk about maybe a couple other things going on. But Chirez already fought. We talked about that. Jose Medina, speaking of grit, you mentioned grit with Ronaldo Rodriguez. Jose Medina had it. I mean, even after getting just absolutely obliterated, dude stood back up and was like, I'm not done. Like, listen, dude, like, I don't know what that dude is
Literally
made of.
brought on
Like,
his own finish, waved in his own
right.
finish.
Like, you know what's crazy is like where Drew Dober took, just 15 unanswered strikes to the head, and didn't know where he was. Medina took a ungodly, what was it? Was it a knee? Yeah, an ungodly knee to the chin. And I think a couple like follow up strikes or whatever, and was still like, what's up? Like, I don't know what that dude's chin is made of. Cause bro, he reminded me of like Prime Max or like fucking Prime Mark Hunt back in the day when they were just eating fucking bombs. Because you can't tell me Gautier doesn't hit like a fucking train,
Oh, he
man.
does.
This is one of the fights I want to talk about real quick on the prelims because that shit, like, number one, Jose Medina. I made a tweet about it, and I think it stands true. He is just somebody's drunk Tio, aka Uncle, who stumbled into the UFC somehow, somewhat. Like literally, he looks like the random Hispanic dude at my local bar that gets in a bar fight. I'm not even fucking shit. He just looks like because he's not the best in shape, but obviously he can fight because he got in the UFC off of a loss somehow. But again, probably a walking papers fight unless they want to give him another just somebody to beat the shit out of him. But anyway, enough about Medina. Gautier, man, or Gautier, however you say it. That dude is the fucking truth. The way the truth. Never mind. I'm not gonna. I'm almost quoted Jesus there, but he's the truth. He's the truth. He's the truth. He's a problem. Um, I think that, man. I think you just give him a lot of easy strikers for the next couple years and slowly start integrating grapplers just to see where he's at. And he's going to be a fucking issue. That dude hits like a shit ton of bricks. A fight that I said I want to see, not right now, but in the future, I want to see is him versus Mansour Abdul Malik. You can't tell me that those two wouldn't be fun because, as we saw, unfortunately, against our friend Nick Klein, Mansour just hits like a fucking train. Gautier hits like a fucking train. What's not to love about that fight in the future? Obviously, I think Mansour is more developed in his skill. As for Gautier, I personally said I said this. I submitted it to uh, a show, one I will not name on this because me and you had a discussion about that I would not be listening to that show anymore. But I listened to it because I submitted my picks this past Sunday. But my pick was Gautier versus Ozzy Diaz, and an individual on the show said that that would be too high of a step up. I don't personally see how, given that Ozzy Diaz is just a punching bag, pretty much, unless you just gas out super quick. But I would personally pick Ozzy Diaz. If not Ozzy Diaz, then saw some people pick Nick Klein. I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. Just not going to do that because number one, I think Nick would take him down like immediately, or he would knock Nick out. I don't want either one of those things to happen because I want to see both the guys develop. I don't know. Yeah, Ozzy seems like the perfect step. Or like I think Dusko took or no, Cedric Dumas is fighting Michael Olajejek soon. I am thinking that Michael's going to beat Cedriquis, and I think that Dumas, because I think he's just a piece of shit. I'll openly say I think he's a piece of shit. Have him fight Gautier next, and have Gautier send him into the Shadow Realm in his UFC career, and then everybody's happy. That's personally what I would actually like is that one. Yeah. So after Dumas, hopefully loses to Michael Olajejek, or if he beats him, Gautier, throw him in there. So yeah. Anyway, what do you got to say about that fight, man?
Yeah, dude looked good, heavy-handed. Liked it. Not a whole lot to say outside of that. I mean, it was just a pummeling. But as far as what's next for him, I do have a feeling. I'm not even going to say a bad feeling. I've got a feeling they're going to try to do the Nick Klein one. That's kind of I just see the UFC go in that direction. It seems like they're, but hey, I mean, we saw Nick have some pretty damn good success in the first round of that fight.
Elbow, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe they'll say, hey, let's not do that. Especially if he's got a full camp, let's not do that. But I'm gonna push for the Dumas one because I like that. I like that scenario you laid out. But I've just got this gut feeling that they're gonna go.
Dude, I think that's what I'm gonna be honest. In my head, I know that's probably what they're gonna do.
Yeah. That Nick Klein's gonna win the fight.
Well, that's number one. From what I've understood, and from people that know this Gautier, I'm going to call him Gautier because he's a goat. But no, but from what I know from Gautier is that I guess he just doesn't have much grappling really. So
yeah, that's tough.
Nick just take him down. Like I don't know. And we know Nick's pretty good. So I think I'll say this. I think it's an easier fight than Mansour, but I think he hits harder than Mansour. I don't know by how much because Mansour fucking God, that guy hits like a fucking train. But Nick did a very good job avoiding the strikes. So, and he's not Jose Medina. He doesn't just sit there and be like, "Here's my fucking chin." So, yeah, I mean, they do that, they do that. But anyway, so running through the rest of the card real quick because that was one fight I want to talk about because I just was very impressed with Gautier's performance. C-Rod fought Melky and lost because he wasn't fighting a child. And also he wasn't fighting a like debutant pretty much, or like an undefeated prospect. He was fighting an established guy.
He fought somebody with their driver's license, and that's
Yeah.
what happened.
And Melky, dude, Melky's 4-0 at 145, and like I think it's like 4 wins in the last like year and some change or something. Dude, staying active. I like him. Um, shit,
I would,
I don't have much. Huh?
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, just real quick. I mean, I don't know. Throw him up against maybe top or bottom 15, like Sadiq Youssef or something like that. Something
Yeah.
fun, those lines. But and then C Rod, just have him fight. I think there was a recent 145 or undefeated. Can't think of his name. Came off contender series. Have him fight that dude. Just have him go do that again. He'll probably win. Or something along those lines. But yeah, good fight. I mean, good fight. I liked it. So what do you have to say about it, man?
Not a whole lot. Melky looked good. The last round was a little concerning. Faded hard at the end. So definitely want to see some improvements in that category, but ultimately got the job done. I don't know what's next for him. C Rod, what's next for him is probably fighting a one of the youth team members at a local Muay Thai gym. Get that dub back, back in
I'm
blood,
telling
baby.
you, I'm telling you, dude. Like, could you imagine if C Rod fought in like Fury or LFA? Because number one, his gas tank's good. His gas tank's there.
It is.
If he fought in just 5 round fights, he'd probably be like fucking 10-time LFA champion at this point. He'd probably defend his belt 10 times because he gets better as the fight goes on. And in LFA and all those other ones, he would just be fighting prospects coming up. So like
Yeah.
he'd be fucking yeah. So
A whole bunch of
I mean,
19-year-olds.
and low key, he'd probably be making more than 12-12 or whatever he's making. So just go over there, just like I don't know. But
The first
yeah. Anyway,
almost a fighter.
but yeah, anyway, I mean, fun. I like both those dudes. C Rod just needs, got to figure some stuff out. Just learn how to fight men. But anyway,
Look on
uh,
guys your own size.
right, for real. Lupe Godinez versus Pilastri. I'm going to be honest. Actually, unfortunately, missed this fight. I had some stuff going on. This was, I think, the only fight I didn't get to see on the card. And she was low key my favorite fighter on the card. I love Lupe, so it was really unfortunate I didn't get to see this. I heard really good things about it. I got to see the last 3 minutes. All I know is that, yeah, I hope Lupe. I don't know. I love Lupe. Give her like, I don't know. I don't think she's fought her yet, but give her like Amanda Hebos or something like that. Um, and yeah, obvious. Also, I heard that she had a lot of health issues going into this fight. I don't know how true that
Poopy.
is. Huh?
I said Poopy Godina. She almost shit
Yeah,
herself.
she had a poop. Yeah. Oh, I have to poop. She goes, I have to poop. I remember that. But yeah, supposedly she had a lot of health issues. So maybe she got the Joe Pfeiffer tummy ache. But yeah, I don't know. Lupe, shout out, love her. Can't wait to see what's next. But I heard it's a damn good fight, so I'm gonna have to watch it back. You got anything about say about that, Square?
Not really. I saw the first 2 rounds, and Lupe was just putting it on her. Had some kind of like I don't even know what it was. It was like a trip slam, like a trip body slam. I don't know. She just got this cool, like, she started off with the trip, picked her up, slammed her hard as fuck on the canvas. Impressive. And then first 2 rounds happened. She was doing pretty dominant. Third round, I think I went to use the restroom or I went to feed Harper or something like that. Was that a banger round? I heard someone say it was like they just went to war all of a sudden in the third round.
Yeah, no, they fucking yeah. That's why like I heard the overall fight was good, but that last like 2 to 3 minutes I caught was really good. Pilastri, I think, pulled it away in that round. That's why it was 29-28.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a dude. They were just
Yeah, I thought I was safe. I thought I was safe missing the third round. I was like, I got to go do this real quick, and then check on Twitter, and someone was like, I'm trying to remember who it was. Shout out to whoever tweeted this. My bad, but it was like Loopy and whatever her name is in the third round for some reason. It was just some banger fight.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they were going to town, dude. They were like, yeah, it was a good ass fight, and like the way Anik and Senko was making it seem that the whole fight was like a banger. But again, then I see other people's tweets and saying
I don't
like the
know.
first
Maybe
two
I
rounds,
missed
yeah,
something in round two, but it
yeah.
seemed like
Well,
it was all.
that's what I heard too, because like I heard the first two rounds weren't that exciting, and then I tune in, and it's just fucking yeah. Because I remember I'm in a chat with the MMA homies. Shout out MMA homies. I'm in a chat with him, and he was talking about like how the first two rounds were not super exciting, and then the third
Right.
round was fucking yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, that third round I guess was the banger portion of the card, but or that fight. But yeah, shout out Loopy, and shout out Palastria. Obviously takes two to tango. So so awesome. I'm gonna have to watch that fight back though. I might do that later tonight before bed or something like that. But next up on the fight card, just to run through real quick, Rafa Garcia versus Vince Pichel. Rafa Garcia came away with, I think, a unanimous decision. Or no, it might have been a splitty. I can't remember. I know that Pichel felt he was robbed. I personally didn't think he was. I know he tweeted out, someone called the cops, I just got robbed after the fight. Pichel, a man of many words. You're old as fuck, dude. I'm just gonna say it. You looked old. I will say that I feel like the things that I was saying before the fight about Hoffa not deserving to be such a large favorite, because he was like a minus almost 400 favorite. I didn't understand it. I didn't fucking get it. I was like, I get Pachel's old, but like, why is Hoffa? I think it's Rafa. I think it's Rafa's the proper pronunciation. Why is Rafa a minus like 400 favorite? It doesn't make any sense. And then Pichel brought the dog out and really kind of started taking it to him. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, why the fuck was Rafa? Because if anybody's ever seen a Rafa Garcia fight, the dude's good, but he's not that good. So, yeah, anyway, it's pretty much all I have to say about that. Shout out Rafa. I don't really have a matchup for him because he's just kind of there in the top, like top 40 lightweight, maybe. And as for Pichel, brother, you're 42. You've fought like twice in the last 10 years. So do what you're gonna do, man. Good luck to you. That's all I have to say about that. What do you guys say, man?
Not a whole lot. Rafa definitely won the fight. I don't think Pichel won, but Pichel did bring a better fight than I was expecting. I'll give it to him. I had a maybe if I think that Pichel should retire, but if he doesn't, I've got a banger tweet that I might save on to. It's really not a banger. I'm gonna explain it to you, and it's not gonna be as funny, but
Okay.
hey, he has kind of a striking resemblance to what is it, Bill the Butcher from Gangs in New York.
Holy shit, he does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was
he
gonna
does.
tweet like I had a plan. I was like, if he gets like knocked out or something, I'm gonna tweet this. But it was that scene where Bill the Butcher's giving that monologue about I can't remember. Maybe it was killing Liam Neeson's character or the first person he killed. I can't, but he's got the
Yeah.
American flag like draped around him, and he's all like
Yep.
teary eyed and just looks like raggedy. I was gonna be like
Yep.
somewhere out there. There's like the biggest. The biggest Vince Pichel fan in the world, just looking at his TV screen right now. Like, I just thought the idea of there being a huge Vince Pichel fan kind of killed me. But
That's fun.
uh,
Dude, that's the thing, though. That's the thing, dude. Every fighter, I don't understand it, but every fighter's got that one. Like, I mean, it's not even their family. There's like a random dude, probably in fucking bumfuck Texas,
yeah,
like that knows that just is a hugest Vince Pichel fan. Look, that's like
You'll
every
see it
fighter.
pop up. You'll see it pop up on the timeline. So like some just. I'm trying to think of like a no name fighter right now, but I won't do that because that's rude. But some no name fighter will like get knocked out, and you'll just check the timeline. You'll just see somebody being like, "No!" It's like, what? You
Oh, dude, I'm
care?
trying to think of a fucking. Hold on, let me see. Uh, I'm looking at the card. I saw somebody was a Jamal. There was a Jamal Emmers Stan account that
Oh,
tweeted out when Jamal Emmers got. I was like, that's a fucking like it was a. And I looked back and their whole account was like Jamal Emmers shit, and I was like, the fuck, and like I've seen like there's an Alonzo Menafield Stan. I was like,
Oh yeah.
these people exist. I was like,
There was
like
probably somebody when what's his first name when Oliveira, that guy. I'm trying to remember his first name now.
Simon. Yeah, Simon
Yeah,
Oliver. Yeah,
when he got knocked out, there was probably someone out there that was not related to him, doesn't know him, probably fell to their knees and cried. Like everybody's got one person that
I'm
just is
trying
a
to
ride
think.
or die.
I'm trying to think of like the off-brand fighter I like. I mean, obviously Robert Whitaker's my favorite fighter. I'm trying to think of like somebody outside of like any division that I just love. I
For
mean,
me,
obviously Jean.
it was Jonathan Pierce for a little bit, and then he just started pissing me off with his low fight IQ that I had to drop
Right,
him. Like, dude,
right.
you just make me mad.
I'm fucking at a loss. I can't think of um I can't think of a single fighter. I mean, like John Silva, but like I like John Silva off the Contender Series, so like I don't know how much that counts because obviously he's big. I'm trying to think of like somebody that's in between good and shitty. Um, I mean, I like Damon Blackshear, but I'm not gonna say I'm like a diehard fan. So yeah, I don't know, something like that. Cody Gibson maybe because like he's a teacher and I fuck with that. Like I think that's cool. So yeah, there you go. There's my one, and he lost to Devon Blackshear. So Cody Gibson lost. So there you go. There's my one.
Nico Price is one for me that
Oh,
I find
there
him.
you go. There you go. Yep,
Yeah,
that's probably something like that. Something like that. Nico's always fun. Oh, Cowboy Oliveira. That was probably the one for me. I liked
yeah,
him, but he was like kind of sneaking. He was kind of sneaking
yeah.
top 15ish. So
He's
Cowboy
also pretty
Oliveira.
popular too. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
was saying I'm just a fucking casual dude. I just like popular fighting. But no, so anyway, on that, speaking of run through these last two just super quick, Jamal Emmers um again killed a man. Jamal, weird striker. I don't know. Like, I just every time he fights, I'm like, this guy's striking looks fucking weird every time. I don't know what it is, but shout out Jamal Emmers, knocked out Gabriel Miranda. Yeah, good for him. He needed that. I feel like, especially after getting just lambasted by fucking Nate the Train. So yeah, good win for him. The Train.
at the train in the UFC.
Train at UFC, baby. Uh, so yeah, you got anything to say about that one, man?
Not really, dude. Looked good. Hit like a motherfucker. That was impressive.
Yeah.
Waiting to hear an answer on why his coaches are about to start duking out.
Yeah. Has nobody ever gotten to the bottom of
No,
that?
when they first showed the replay, I was like, man, they look like really like intense right there. But I thought maybe like because he was kind of doing that, and I was like, maybe it was like one of those like, let's fucking go, like I told you he was like that kind of shit, like just. But then people started sharing it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, like yeah, they were like really getting at each other, like those two dudes are about to
I
go.
have a feeling. I have a feeling that coach told Jamal to like strike, and the other coach was wanting him to grapple or something
Yeah,
along
it
those
was
lines.
definitely a disagreement on how to go about it. And then when he knocked him
Right.
out, the other dude was like, I fucking told you. Like, that's it. Yeah, yeah,
Fuck,
I was
yeah.
right. You shut the hell
And then
up.
the one coach grabbed
Such a bad,
immediate risk control. The fucking did you see how one coach like
that
fucking
was
risk control?
very, that was slick of him. That was a good move. But
He
that's such a
fucking
bad visual to
Habib
have
them.
your coaches just going at it. It's like, all right.
I gotta fucking no, dude. I gotta clip that. I gotta fucking find that clip again because I gotta clip. That's a perfect reaction meme for something. There's gonna be, dude. I have clips of so many UFC shit that I've never used, but I know there's gonna be a time and place. Like the one with Jorge saying the "que what? No,
Yeah,
no, no pique de English." I saved that and I've had that for like a year and a half, and it came in perfect for the fucking Drudo. Yes. So there's a perfect time for all my meme people. There's a perfect time for every meme. Trust me. But anyway, and then lastly, Medeiros versus Cody Hubbard or Austin Hubbard. Sorry. Um, holy fuck, Austin Hubbard and Cody Gibson look a lot alike. That's weird. And I think they both fought on the same season. Tough too.
yeah.
Um, Medeiros come away with the. Did he finish him? I don't think he
I
did. Did
think
he?
it went to decision. I think it went
A
to
splitty. A
yeah, I was about to say
splitty.
it went to split decision.
Let's see. I'm on Shirt Dog.
I
Let's
was,
see if
I,
Shirt
I
Dog.
was or I'll wait my turn to speak on that one.
No, you're good. Go ahead. You're good.
I was
I'm
gonna say
good.
I was pleasantly surprised by Austin. He did have some bonehead decisions he made that ultimately cost him the fight, but that was nice to see. Something about tough guys, and especially that season because that
Yeah.
was such a weird season. I feel for those dudes. You get the Cody Gibsons, you get a lot of guys that just because the whole thing was like it was guys getting their second chance, and
That's what that was. Yeah.
a lot of those guys, they were getting their second chance for a reason. They got cut, so it's like
Yeah.
you just kind of feel for those guys. They're literally on like their last leg, getting just one more
Yeah.
crack at it, and you kind of want to see it work out for them for their own sake. So
Exactly, man.
I was kind of rooting for him in that one, and he just I can't even remember what they were, but he just made some like decisions where I was like, no, not right there, not right now, and
Right.
cost him. But he put up a good one.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. I think he's lost. Pretty sure. Oh, clicked the wrong name. He's lost a few, couple, three. Let's see. I hope he doesn't get cut after this because again, I'm like you, dude. I'm a tough purist. Like, don't get me wrong, Dana White's Contender Series. I look forward to it every year. It's like my shit. I love it. But as far as fighters succeeding, I'm always going to be like a tough dude. I want to see the tough guys. I want to see the tough guys succeed. So,
Because
uh,
those guys also had to put a lot into getting into the UFC, whereas like the Contender Series guys showed up for a week
right.
and then fought one night and then got it or they didn't. Those Contender Series guys put everything into
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he lost to Kurt Hollabaugh in the final. Then he beat Michael Figlak, and then he lost to Alexander Hernandez by split. I forgot about that. So I don't think they'll cut him yet because fuck, Hernandez has been on a tear lately. So and then he lost to Markel Maderos. No, I think they'll keep him around. I was worried that he'd get cut. I think they'll keep him for one more at least because usually
Right.
it's like after three is when you really got to start worrying. Let's see. I'll have to look at MMA decisions, but yeah, most people had it 29-28 Hernandez. But yeah, anyway, good ass card, man. Kind of woke me up a little bit. I really liked it. It was nice to sit in my comfy ass bed right here and watch fights with a Modelo in hand. Really enjoy. I love Mexican heritage. I love anytime they go to Mexico. I'm really excited for UFC 320 in Guadalajara. I think it's going to be like I loved Noche last year with Spear because just the presentation was fucking next level. But I think it's going to be, I think the crowd's going to be super hype. And I think that the presentation package that the UFC is going to put on for, uh, for Guadalajara is going to be phenomenal. They're probably going to have a lot of really cool like cut scenes and stuff. Obviously, they don't have a sphere to present it on, but I think we're going to see a lot of cool shit. So I'm super excited for that, and I'm really excited to see what comes next for these guys. And yeah, that was UFC Mexico, man. That was a fun ass card. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like, we need more cards like this, man. Some hometown heroes fighting, and yeah, more crowds. Mark Shapiro, I'm sorry to tell you, brother, but the UFC Apex is not the place to
Definitely.
go. So we need more crowds. We need more crowds. Also, lower the ticket prices, fuckers. Anyway,
How are you rating
no,
that one?
huh?
How are you
Oh yeah,
rating?
yeah. I was gonna say, I forgot too. Yeah, I've almost bypassed the fucking spark of the card and everything else.
It's all good. I was
Whoops,
gonna I was gonna
everybody.
call it out real quick, but it's all good.
Whoops, everybody. Sorry, everybody. Just psych. We're not ending the card yet. I was just sitting here getting all excited. I'm kind of out of practice because the last Stoking the Coals we did was a little different, so I'm kind of thrown off. Anyway, back to regular. Rewind, reset. Uh, Rating out of 10 because I rate my fight nights different than I do my pay per views. I'm going to give it a 7.5, I think, right there. I think that was a solid card. Very good, very serviceable. Had good moments, had some dull moments, but overall, I really liked it because of the finishes that were in it. Namely, it's a 7.5 because Dr. Dave. Manuel Torres, Jamal Emmers, uh, and Gautier, man, and Chires. Those were the guys that bumped it up to a 7.5. Damn good shit. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10. What about you, man?
I was thinking about the same thing, somewhere in the mid sevens. I'll go with the 7.3 just to be different from you,
All
just to
right.
keep the redundancy. But all the same reasons, dude. The guys that came out there and shined, they shine bright. Some great finishes. Um, some pretty memorable moments for better or worse. You know, one of those memorable moments is Drew Dober getting practically assaulted at that point. When you've been out for that long, it goes from like, all right, the fight's over. Just because the ref hasn't called it, the fight's over. Now this is just like this is physical assault. And that's what we witnessed.
I dude,
we're all gonna get called to court in a couple months as witnesses, and just everyone be ready. Go ahead and tell your boss you're gonna need a day off work.
can I say this? I will say this about that is that Beltron called the fight. Like one of the like key things they say from what I've heard is when a fighter gets knocked out, the ref is like supposed to stay with them and like tell them to just sit.
Mm-hmm.
Mike
Yeah.
Beltron allowed him to get up and walk away, and Beltron was standing there. I remember Beltron was standing there doing that stupid shit he does, where he's like this, and Dober's standing there like that. And Beltron's just looking at him, not saying anything, just looking at him, while Dober's still trying to fight, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck? Like, he's not, he's just letting him, like, believe that the fight's still going on. And Dover's like,
I like to think Dober saw Torres like running away and was like, "That's what I thought, pussy."
I saw a couple memes where somebody said that Drew Dober won by disqualification because Torres quit and ran away. Oh my God. Holy shit, dude. God, Mike Beltron, dude. As shitty of as a ref,
So
as shit, like he's a shitty ass ref, but I think there's like multiple moments in fights that are like memeable because he just lets shit. The fucking another one I want to shout out real quick that he does point in the dude's face and says, "Do not make
oh
me get
yeah,
involved."
who did he
Like,
shoot up that one time? He chewed somebody alive with that one time.
oh my God. It's like, okay, at that point, if you're sitting there doing that, that's when you take a fucking point.
Yeah,
Like, if you got to get in somebody's ass, that's when you take a point, you stupid fuck. Like, God. And shout out our friend MMA Fu, who absolutely hates Mike Beltron, and I see it now. I see it now. I see it now. I think his hate for Beltron is stemming from something else. I won't mention, um, but I see the hate though outside of their personal issues. But anyway, man, ready for the spark?
hell yeah.
Love it,
All
love it.
right. You want me to go first?
Yeah, buddy, go ahead.
All right. My spark's a pretty obvious one. It's Emmers. What was that? The second fight of the night, I believe. Yeah, second
Yes.
fight of the night, came out there, put on that performance. Uh, that's an easy pick. It goes without say. Definitely was like, all right, here we go. This is good. Yeah, not a whole lot to say. I mean, we all saw that. Y'all saw that knockout. How you not going to get excited for that? And that got me pumped up for the rest of the card, and uh, deservedly so, because I'd say the card, no, obviously not every fight, but the card in a lot of instances lived up to that. So that was an exciting kind of catalyst for the rest of the night. And that's my pick.
Uh, Hell yeah, man. Honestly, mine was a feature prelim, man. Like I like the prelims, but the one that just like woke me back up and like brought me just full attention was Medeiros and Medina. Sorry, not Medeiros. Medina and Gautier, because just the whole thing, like it wasn't even just the finish; it was the whole process leading up to it. Because I knew what we were gonna get. We were gonna get Gautier just beating the dog shit out of him, and Jose Medina was just gonna be like, what the fuck is this pussy? And like I knew that's what it was gonna be. Like I knew like I almost had a feeling it was just gonna be 3 rounds of Medina getting his just ass beat. But I'm glad Gautier finished it early because that dude would have like went until he had brain damage.
I
So
knew it was gonna be a finish when Medina got hit with one of them, and he tried to smile, but it looked like he was shitting himself as he was smiling, and I was like,
yeah,
"All right, you're starting to feel it now, brother, aren't you?"
yeah. I remember the meme, the fucking Will Ferrell shit, dude.
Uh,
That's that for me was like it because I was like, dude, this guy's just gonna like go until he dies. And Gautier, they I know it's kind of like a gimmick at this point. It is what it is, but like they call him the middleweight Francis, and it's true, dude. The guy just launches missiles at your head, and I love it. It was a perfect setup fight because it's a dude who can eat shots and it's a dude who can deliver them. And I was like, yeah. And when he knocked him out, I was like, yes. And then the main card started, and I was like, I'm in my happy place. So yeah, that was my spark of the card, dude. It just got me fired up. Not saying the prelims were bad because they were not at all. They were pretty decent. A couple of little boring spots in there, but overall good prelim. But that was the moment where I was like, let's go. Like okay, like the fucking the Nick Cage in Gone in 60 Seconds. Let's go. Shaking his hands, let's go. So yeah, that was it for me, man. Um, but God, loved it, dude. Love that performance. Not too much to say about it. Obviously, we talked about it. Kind of went over the whole card. One of those rare times we do that. But damn, damn good card. Good fight night. We needed that. Especially after London. Uh, yeah. And that's pretty much it for us. Stay tuned. We're gonna have probably a quick episode dropping about the event coming up this weekend. This should drop before that, hopefully. So, and then we'll have like a little quick short episode about maybe the top couple fights on the next event. Try not to cook too long. Just you got to tell me to shut the fuck up so I don't talk for an hour like I do on these. So, but stay tuned for that. So we got Emmett versus Murphy coming up this weekend. It's a card. It's a card. It's at the Apex. I think it would be better if it wasn't at the Apex. We'd get a little bit more excited about it. And then following that, I believe, is 312. So, or 312, 312,
14.
14.
Yeah.
I'm living in the past, brother. Anyway, 314. Um, yeah, everybody, let us know in the comments what you thought of this card. Let us know what you think of our Spark card. Also, what was your Spark of the card? Drop that in the comments below on anything you watch us on. We appreciate all the support, everything you guys do for us. Yeah, appreciate you guys so much. That was Stoking the Coals from me, Knuckles. Squared, what do you got to say, man?
Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for putting up with me. I was a bit of a dumbass this episode. It's been a day for me. I'll say that. It's been a day.
Me too.
Um,
Me too.
I got stabbed by by a Somalian doctor today. A Somalian nurse, I should say. But all good. It was fun to talk about it. Talk about the card, not the stabbing. But that was fun to talk about too. Um, uh, yeah, follow us on all of our platforms. Follow us on X at bench_burner. Everywhere else at Bench Burner Sports, Spotify, YouTube, name it, we're there. Instagram, TikTok, all those places. Hit our comment sections. Let us know what you thought about the card. Let us know your spark of the card. Let us know what your thoughts on it, what you think is next for whichever fighter you'd like to see something from. What else? Yeah, hell yeah. Let us know if you disagreed with us on anything, and we'll argue with you. Might even call you some
Oh,
names. I'll
I'll
drop.
call you some crosswords. I'll say some shit to you. I'll
Yeah.
say some shit to you. Get in my DMs. We'll pull up we'll do another Twitter FC. Come to my hotel. Let's you know.
I'll cry myself to sleep. I
That's
don't.
that's right. But
I'll
anyway,
let you observe me.
anyway, guys, thank you so much again. Like you said, don't want to say it a million times. So appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, if you guys have anything you guys want us to talk about just randomly, we're always down for it. Or if you guys just want to DM us personally, so too, we'll talk about it. But appreciate you guys, and Hope you guys have a great week. Peace out.